Welcome back to the Explainer. Our whole goal here is to take these really dense, complex documents and turn them into stories you can actually follow.
So today, we're going to dive into something pretty cool, a GitHub discussion. Yeah, I know, but trust me, this one actually reshaped a core feature of the entire Cardano network. It's just a fantastic example of what open source development looks like in the wild, starting from just one little problem.
All right, so to really get why the solution is so clever, we first have to wrap our heads around the problem. And it all starts with this thing called minUTx. I mean, have you ever tried sending just a tiny amount of some native token on Cardano? Or maybe you're a developer trying to build a dApp that needs to charge like micro fees. If you have, you've definitely hit this wall. It's a huge point of friction. So this UTXOValue, what is it? Well, it's basically a spam filter for the whole network. It's there to stop people from clogging everything up with tiny, worthless little bits of data, what we call dust. But here's the catch. The side effect is this mandatory postage fee. It makes sending really small amounts of any asset, well, kind of pointless and expensive. So, okay, that's the problem. How do you fix it? Well, on July 23rd, a developer who goes by Fallen Icarus drops this idea into a Cardano Improvement Proposal, a CIP. And it's a whole new way of looking at things. And the idea was, well, it was pretty elegant. See, instead of using that standard UTXO model, those separate envelopes of cash, the proposal was, hey, why don't we just upgrade Cardano's account addresses? The same ones you already use for staking. Let's make it so they can directly receive funds. It'd be like having one big central mailbox where people can just drop off small payments, completely bypassing that hefty postage fee every single time. Now, the first version of this idea was pretty cautious. It focused only on ADA, Cardano's main currency. And the logic made sense, right? Let's get a safe, useful tool out there for developers quickly, and we can worry about all the other custom tokens later. But the community? They had some other thoughts. And this is where the whole thing just explodes into a public debate. Because the community jumped in right away and said, hold on. The problem isn't just about ADA. A developer named Michel Nuzzi really hit the nail on the head. He said, look, for us dApp builders, the real headache is with sending our own custom native tokens. That's where we need to help. But, and this is a big but, opening the floodgates to all tokens introduced a massive security risk. Okay, so check this out. This is how a dusting attack would work here. An attacker could just spam your account with a ton of worthless junk tokens. And because the system requires a small deposit for every single type of token an account holds, your own ADA would get locked up to cover the deposit for their junk. You never asked for it, you didn't approve it, but suddenly your funds are held hostage. So this risk, this dusting attack problem, it kicked off this incredible public debate right there on GitHub for everyone to see. You had developers from all over the ecosystem just brainstorming solutions live in real time. And you can just watch the thinking evolve so fast. The first idea was simple authorization. Make the user sign off on every deposit. But that got shot down pretty quick. It's just not practical for businesses. So that led to this really fascinating debate between two much better ideas. Proportional deposit, where the person sending the junk has to pay for it, versus whitelisting, where you, the receiver, get to decide what you'll even accept in the first place. And really, the whole debate came down to this one fundamental trade-off. What do you prioritize? Do you go for flexibility, letting anyone send you anything as long as they cover the cost? Or do you prioritize security and control, giving the account owner the final say over what even comes into their wallet? Okay, so let's get to the resolution. How did they solve this? Because this is where all that back and forth, all that debate really pays off. So get this. On August 4th, not even 2 weeks after that very first post, Fallen Icarus updates the proposal. It's marked ready for review, but it looks nothing like the original. It had completely evolved.
The final design was just brilliant. It took the best of both worlds. It went with the super secure whitelisting model, but with this really clever twist. The account owner pays a small, one-time deposit to create and manage their own list of approved tokens. So native assets were now included, security was the top priority, and the control was put right back where it belongs, with the user.
But hold on, we're not done. Just being able to deposit tokens wasn't enough to make this truly powerful. Smart contracts also needed a way to see these new account balances, and they had to do it safely without breaking the fundamental rules of the blockchain. And this gets into a really core challenge in all of blockchain programming. It's called determinism. Basically, a smart contract has to be predictable. Its result has to be guaranteed based on its inputs. But think about it. An account balance can change at any second. So a contract might read a balance, but by the time it gets confirmed on the chain, that balance has changed, and the whole thing falls apart. The solution was, again, so elegant. They borrowed an idea from how Cardano already handles time on the blockchain using intervals. So instead of a smart contract asking, is the balance exactly 105 tokens, which is brittle, it can ask, is the balance somewhere between 100 and 110 tokens? And that simple change in thinking, it means the contract's logic is always valid. It's always deterministic, even if the exact number is shifting around. And this just perfectly illustrates the core, non-negotiable principles that guide Cardano's development. As another developer, George Flervosky, pointed out, the Ledger team was crystal clear. Breaking that determinism was never, ever an option. The solution had to be creative, yes, but it absolutely had to respect the fundamental architecture of the ledger. So you see, this is way more than just some simple technical fix. This whole package of features, working together, unlocks a completely new playground for developers. We're talking decentralized governance, truly automated tokenomics, and dApps that can finally react to what's happening on-chain without needing a person to sign off on every little thing. And that right there is the real game changer. Fallen Icarus, the original author, emphasized this himself. That ability to build automated, decentralized systems that can just check a balance and then act on it, all without needing the owner's signature for every step, that's what makes this whole upgrade so incredibly powerful. So there you have it, a journey that started with a simple, annoying problem, sending small change, evolved through this intense public debate into a super sophisticated feature that literally expands what is possible on Cardano. It's just a perfect case study of open source collaboration at its best. And it leaves us with the most exciting question of all. Now that this tool is out there, what are people going to build with it?